Rotary Club of Lake Hickory. And I know that Robert Broom is going to stand in and give our invocation this morning. So Robert, the stage is yours.
All right, let's pray. Lord, we're just so thankful to be here alive today, thankful to be in this Rotary Club. And in times like this, we look to you for our foundation and strength. And I ask for blessing for our leaders in this community, for our leaders in our state, and our leaders in our nation, and worldwide leaders, Lord. We ask for wisdom as we navigate all that's before us. And we just want to thank you for the meal that we're all about to have. We want to thank you for providing all our needs. And we ask for your blessing on our meeting today. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you, Robert. Dave Leonette, you can put up the American flag.
Just keep clicking over there and see what's happening.
Give me 1 second.
I will.
Okay.
All right.
Start video.
Thank you.
Maybe start video. I don't know, Bill.
Okay. Those present, if you would, please pledge allegiance to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. A couple of quick announcements. I know that Alan Jackson is working hard on I think, final approved version of our advertisement.
You just went mute.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the final copy of the ad placement has been approved by everybody, and we are looking for, I hope, a Sunday placement in the Hickory Daily Record. So if those of you who have sponsors that you contacted, please try to alert them. Alan, I could not see if you were on the broadcast or not to reaffirm that, but when he and I conversed yesterday, that was my understanding, is that he would try for a Sunday placement. So with you, I also wanted to tell all of you that I ran into Lisa Deaton Smith, of all places, at the Salvation Army dock where they received donations very recently, and she said to please tell everybody that she is okay. And excuse Jimmy Buffett. Hello, John Leach. But anyway, Lisa Deaton Smith is doing okay and said to please pass on her regards to everyone. So having done that, we are nearing really quickly the end of my term, and Lou Wetmore will be taking over the reins shortly. And Lou, are you on the broadcast? I don't hear him.
Yes, I had to unmute myself. I'm here.
Okay. Anything you want to pass on to the club?
Well, not at this time. However, I do have a question for you, and that is, are we going to do the transition on June 30th or July 7th?
I believe the 7th. Ingrid and I were communicating about that earlier today. As a matter of fact, about 15 minutes ago. Okay. And I think we're planning on club assembly. And I think John Leach has it planned that way also for July the 7th. Because typically we don't meet the week of the July 4th. And so I was going to turn over the reins the first thing in July. Okay. But I figured we'd talk about that tomorrow. But
a Thursday, you mean?
Thursday. That's the tentative plan.
Okay, sounds good.
Now, is that all right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Any other announcements for the good of the club from anyone?
One real quick thing. I wanted to let you guys know that I am going to, by the end of the day today, I should have everything set up. I'm going to start sharing the videos for this on my YouTube channel. That was the easiest way. because we don't have unlimited storage through Zoom. I can only put like 1 or 2 weeks worth of videos up there before we quote unquote run out of the storage that they say we have. But I'm set up now. I had to do a couple things, but I've got 2 of them up there, and I'll share. What I think I'll do is just add that to our meeting invite when I send the updates, that you can access those through the YouTube channel. And the good thing about that is too, if you want to on YouTube, you can listen to stuff at 1.5 speed or whatever you want. If you want to kind of get through things quicker, if you want to, that's always fun as well.
Okay.
I
Amazing.
don't know if you should have told us that.
Well, I see Jennifer in your program, and I thought you might like to introduce our speaker.
I would love to. Thank you. So our speaker today is my sister, Lisa Adams. She works for the Postal Service. She's currently the acting area manager for the Capital Metro District. She's been in the Postal Service for about 20 years, and she started as a clerk just in a local office. And she has done just about everything you can think of in the Postal Service. I can hold up her bio here, but some of those things include customer service operations for the city of Atlanta, field financial specialist, plant manager, distribution operations, customer service supervisor, and like I said, now she is the acting area manager for marketing for the Capital Metro District. I know we've been interested and have had a lot of interest in COVID and how it's affected different people, and I thought she could talk about how that has affected the Postal Service, and then she could also share with us some of the inner workings of the post office, because I know we might be curious about that. So my sister, Lisa.
Thanks.
Thank you, Jennifer.
You're welcome.
So I will go back to sharing my screen. And is it visible? Everybody can see it?
It's great.
Okay. So again, my name is Lisa Adams. I am the manager of marketing for Capital Metro area, and I will break down what that means here in a few moments. And as Jennifer stated, yes, we are sisters, and I have about 20 years with the Postal Service. I started in Highlands, North Carolina as a clerk between 2 different offices, and over the last several years have worked into lower and upper management, worked at headquarters for a couple years in Washington, D.C., and now am the manager of marketing. So for the Postal Service, high-level overview, we're broken down into 7 areas. As you can see here, we've got Pacific area, Western, Southern, the Great Lakes area, Northeast area, Eastern area, and then Capital Metro is right here on the East Coast. And then a breakdown of our area and what that means to my position as well as our districts. You can see we have a large majority of Georgia in the Atlanta district. We have what we call Greater South, so South Carolina. Mid-Carolinas is all of North Carolina. Greensboro district, which is where Hickory falls into, falls under our area. Then we have Richmond, Northern Virginia, Baltimore, and Washington, D.C. all make up the Capital Metro area. And I've put some numbers here to give you an idea of what each district is composed of. They're 3-digit zip code breakdowns, total retail revenue for our fiscal year 19, the number of delivery units, delivery points, city and rural carriers, and the total number of employees that fall within each of those districts. Again, very high level, but this is, I oversee all the retail operations. So any post office that you go into to ship or mail a package, buy postage stamps, if you do every door direct mailings, or have mailing services where your mail is entered through a business mail entry unit, I have oversight over all of that, as well as our commercial mailers, to make sure that their mail integrates into our network. is machine capable, and then we get it out to delivery to your end customer. So for COVID-19, the Postal Service was impacted just like the majority of the other businesses across the nation. But for COVID-19 for us, wanted to share some numbers and then how we have handled and dealt with the response, the safety of our employees, as well as the customer outreach. So these numbers on the left side of the screen are representative of our area, Cap Metro areas, the districts I just showed you. So for confirmed positive cases for postal employees, we have 305. This is through yesterday. Self-quarantined employees is right now at 592. We've had 2,300 employees return to work that were either out on self-quarantine or had previously, out taking care of their small children, things of that nature. And of the 305 that have confirmed positive, we've had 112 return back to work. The numbers might look a little alarming, but from a national perspective, we are one of the lowest impacted areas as far as confirmed cases with our employees. So that's a good news story for us. Some of the things that we've done to handle COVID from an area perspective, we initially started out with a call that went 6 days a week. It included all of our district leadership, the inspection service, the OIG, which is the Office of Inspector General, our unions and management associations, and then over time we've dropped that down to 3 days a week. So we talk with all of those respective leadership and association groups to discuss our numbers, any new communication that needs to be provided out amongst our employees and or the unions to make sure that we have that strong partnership to make sure, again, that we're keeping our employees safe and keeping the customer communication strong. Nationally, we've worked on employee safety to include the installation. If you've been in any of our local post offices, we've got plexiglass or some type of vinyl barrier protection at our retail counters. We've put social distancing tape on the floor to keep the 6-foot social distancing. We've created signage and communication through what we call stand-up talks or service talks for all of our employees, whether you're a window clerk or a letter carrier, as well as management. Each of our districts created a command center to assist with monitoring and ordering essential supplies, such as gloves, masks, and hand sanitizer. Typically, we order supplies through Central Supply, which is located in the Midwest area of the United States. They became very inundated with essential supply orders. So the command centers were created to find local suppliers to make sure that we could keep all of our post offices, plants, and our transportation drivers well equipped with the essential supplies. And then, of course, customers, the most important part of the Postal Service's business. Without our customers, we wouldn't be in business. So strong customer communications that we've provided regarding mail delivery or if a business has had to put their mail on hold, as well as the overall safety of the postal employees and the customers' personnel surrounding COVID-19. As example, the nursing homes and the hospitals, very concerned if they had positive cases, communicating with the Postal Service and then how we would handle the delivery of their mail. So strong interaction with our customers throughout this whole pandemic. Good news story for us. Every day we have post offices and districts share things that the customers are giving to the postal employees, whether it's posters, as you can see here. We had a sandcastle made, chalk drawings on the sidewalks, the driveways. We've had customers put hand sanitizer and masks in their mailboxes for their mail carriers. Just the overall outreach and gratitude that we receive from our customers every day certainly makes what we do and what our employees do while they're out servicing the communities much appreciated. So we continue to get images like this every day. So I just wanted to share that you know, the postal employees in your communities and the thanks that we receive for being out there every day delivering stimulus checks, medications, of course your bills, which nobody wants to get, but we continue to be a huge part of the community. Another thing I wanted to share, the Harris Poll did a survey and rated the United States Postal Service #1 in business response to the pandemic. This is as of May 28th. So it's a very good news story for the Postal Service as a whole at a very national level, how we resolved some of the obstacles that we had to face, the responsiveness and our agility to be very proactive around COVID-19, and now with the most recent riots and protests, we've lost some post offices due to fires and riots, but our employees are still out there delivering the mail and making sure that the customers see us. Again, we're a very strong part of the community and the network, so wanted to share that as well. On another note, the Postal Service is very proud to have the Postal Customer Council, or the PCC. Most of our districts have 1 to 3 PCCs that you can become a part of. It is a great way to gain inside access to products, services, and innovations that the Postal Service partners with mailers on, build relationships, of course, stay in the know, sustain a competitive advantage, and get easy access to the PCC community. Our PCCs are made up of banking institutions, shipping providers, mailing service solutions, package shippers, software companies, printing companies. We have all kinds of customer-based partnerships that are part of our PCC. So PCCs that are in your local area, you've got Greensboro, you've got Greater Triad, and then you've got the Greater Triangle area in Raleigh. You've got Western North Carolina, which is in Asheville. That's one of our newest PCCs, as well as Greater Wilmington. And then in Greenville or Greater South District, we've got the Upstate, Low Country, and Midlands. But all of our districts, again, have PCCs that we would love to be part of. We have lunch and learns. Before COVID, we did a lot of face-to-face, and we would bring in guest speakers from our headquarters in Washington, D.C. Now we are moving everything to virtual, like you've done here with Zoom. But certainly happy to provide more information on that. And then I also wanted to share the Postal Service does a National Postal Forum every year. This year, unfortunately, it was canceled, but we are going to do a virtual summer series that begins on Thursday, July 23rd, and will run through September 3rd. And you are more than welcome to sign up and join the summer series. We have national speakers, we have industry speakers. We provide updates on postal news, service performance, and any strategies and updates that we might have. And you can learn more about the National Postal Forum at npf.org. And with that, I'll kind of close out and open it up for any questions that you may have or comments. I will do my very best to answer any questions or concerns that you have, whether it's relative to you personally or just overall for our industry. And if I can't answer it today, I will get Jennifer a response back so she can share it with you.
One thing I wanted you to mention, Lisa, we were talking a couple weekends ago, and she mentioned that with everybody ordering things now instead of going out and shopping, how their volume has increased. And so I just thought that was really interesting when you were talking about that.
So our volume, if you give me 1 second here, I will pull some exact numbers. Let me see here, get my email. Sorry.
While she's looking it up, she had mentioned that they're busier now than typical Christmas season. And so just how they're handling that and what those numbers look like.
So right here, let me share my screen again here. All right, so can you see my screen again?
Yep.
Okay, so this is a month-to-month overview of our parcels. And you can see the blue line is for fiscal year 20. Our fiscal year in the Postal Service starts October 1st and runs through September 30th. The orange line is fiscal year 19. So you can see FY20 is well above where we were at same period last year in FY19. And then the gray line represents what we typically do during peak. For the Postal Service, begins the day before Thanksgiving and runs through January 5th. So you can see through COVID-19, our parcel volume is at or above what we normally do for those 4 or 5 weeks during Christmas. And it is not slowing down. We have large mailers. We just recently moved Belk, Best Buy, Foot Locker have all moved to ship from store. So if you order from any of those customers online, they now do a pickup request through the Postal Service. The carrier picks it up in their line of travel, brings it into the post office. It then moves to our processing and distribution centers for delivery to you as the customer. So customers are transitioning very rapidly to a ship from store model because their storefronts are not open yet, or they are moving to a curbside service. They are also offering shipping as an option, and the Postal Service has become a highly competitive with our competitors to be able to provide that ship from store, because the Postal Service goes to every address every day, business and residential, 6 days a week. So businesses can request that ship from store option 6 days a week, and our carriers, whether you live in rural America or you live in a city environment, the carriers will pick that volume up and send it to our processing and distribution centers for destination delivery.
Lisa, what
Yes.
what percentage of the parcels are delivered by the Postal Service versus your competitors?
So we average, and this is a very rough number, but we average about 72% of the market.
Mm-hmm.
And that was prior to COVID.
Right. Is that increasing or decreasing?
I would say right now it is probably on the increase, because these most recent shippers that are moving to a ship from store model have shifted away from our competitors.
Okay. In the role of marketing for your organization, are you marketing to what audience?
So we market to the individual customer who buys postage stamps, to the large mailers that do commercial mailings, such as the bank or end of year statements. We work with package shippers, whether it be competitors, keeping in mind DHL, FedEx, Amazon. We do a lot of their last mile delivery. So on Sundays, you'll see the postal trucks out and about delivering the mail, because the Postal Service goes to every address every day, 6 days a week. We also deliver on Sundays to include that last mile delivery. So you might order it and pick FedEx or UPS as a delivery option, but if they don't go to that address, then it becomes what we call last mile delivery, and the Postal Service delivers that last mile for them. So those packages drop at the Postal Service on pallets. We sort them down to the route, and the carriers take them out for delivery.
Right. Yeah, thank you.
I had a
You're
question
welcome.
for you, Lisa. This
Yes.
is Peter Nelson. This morning on the radio, as I was switching channels, I picked up part of an ad. I'm not sure if it's an ad or a lobby group or something, talking about how COVID and how all the small businesses are supported by Congress in some fashion, but the post office was let out of that, or not included in some of that support for dollars, and they were asking people to contact their Congress people to help support the post office. Can you elaborate more on that and bring me in the loop on that, or do you know anything about that?
I don't have a whole lot of information on that. I know that we are governed by a board of governors, and they spend a lot of time on the Hill advocating for us, as well as individuals that advocate for the Postal Service. Now, due to COVID, we are no different, I would say, than any of the other businesses. I know that we have requested financial assistance, but outside of that and particular dollar amounts, I'm not privy to that information. For the small business customers, though, a large majority of our customer is that small customer base. And now that they are having to find new avenues to stay viable in today's, pandemic world, we do offer a lot of services to those small business customers, such as every door direct mailing. There are a lot of shipping and shipping solutions that we can provide to them to keep their costs down, including mailers. Some of our packaging supplies we can build into the contract so they don't have that additional cost. But as far as financial assistance, I know that it's been asked for at that level to where that information is necessarily shared with me.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
And Lisa, in the chat function, you've got you got a bunch of questions in there.
Yeah, I know. I see that. So let me back up here. Any trends in postal usage? So a little more clarification on what you're asking in that question. I think that's from
That's you,
Dr.
Dan.
No, you've already covered that.
Okay, all right. I heard a complaint about the rising cost of stamps. I suggested that they send their Christmas cards through FedEx. Oh, no. So
much
I
cheaper.
know that we do get, when we raise the price of a postage stamp, it does create some controversy with our customers. Keeping in mind that you can mail a Christmas card or a birthday card from the East Coast all the way to Alaska or Guam, for the price of a first class postage stamp. And whether you bought your stamps today or you bought them 2 years ago, they're forever stamps. So as prices go up, the stamps are still good. But we move first class letter mail on an air network. We use commercial airlines as well as surface transportation to move the mail from east to west coast. So considering that we can traverse the entire country in 3 to 5 days for 55 cents, I think that's pretty good. Let me see here. We don't. Oh, could you not see my presentation? Or you could? Oh, you don't see me. You want to see me?
Yeah, they just see your picture. They want to see you. That's Floyd. He wants to see you.
Okay, here I am. Don't want to put you on the spot. Okay, so I think we covered that one. I see the USPS trucks most Sundays. What services do you provide? So I think I covered that. Again, a lot of that Amazon Sunday delivery, but we now include what we call network packages. So if you're shipping a package to a loved one, we include that in our Sunday delivery as well. Prior to COVID and after your move or your more centralized process of sending mail to Greensboro first, we were pretty assured of getting mail from Hickory to another North Carolina center overnight, maybe 2 days after your change. So you must be, Catherine, you must be referring several years ago, we went through what we call an AMP or an AMP. And we consolidated our processing and distribution centers to reduce costs, transportation, work hour savings. So if you were in the Greensboro area and mailed a letter, you would get it delivered the next day. When we eliminated and reduced our footprint on our processing footprint, it became a 2-day service in most locations. Now I want to point out, like for the Asheville area, we had a plant in Asheville. We consolidated that. Their mail now processes out of Greenville, South Carolina. It is a 2-day turnaround in most cases, depending on where the mail originates from and then how quickly it gets to Greenville to be processed and sent back up to the Asheville market. We do have pockets where it takes 3 days, which is unfortunate, but as we are made aware of those situations, we do work very closely with our consumer and industry contacts as well as our plant partners to identify those pockets. Again, the reduction of the footprint was cost savings. Every business goes through it. It was the first time we'd had a reduction in our postal facilities, probably in the history of the Postal Service. But we're evolving. We're viable in the community, so we have to look at our infrastructure just like any other business does. And it did change the service standards. Let's see, is there a difference in delivery locations served by USPS and those served by for-profit deliveries? From your comments, sounds like USPS. Okay, so did I answer that question, Alan? I'm looking for Alan on the screen.
Yeah, I had to unmute. I think you did. Yeah, it sounds like you're doing the stuff that's the far outreaches and that they don't.
We do. Like I said, if Amazon, you'll see the Prime trucks out. They do deliver. UPS and FedEx deliver to some residential, a lot of business addresses. But again, they do utilize the Postal Service in that last mile, what we call the last mile delivery. So it'll come out of their distribution centers. They palletize that mail. They drop it at our local post offices. And then we sort it down to the carrier level for that last mile delivery. Because again, we go to every address every day where they base their deliveries on volume, where we go regardless. Whether you've got a letter in your mailbox or you have a package or not, we drive by your address every day.
Thank you.
No, you're very welcome. Did you touch on the issue with the federal budget supporting USPS particularly? So I think I answered that one to the best of my ability, which probably wasn't a whole lot of information, but that's more for our executive leadership team, and that information is not usually shared with us. And Paul, thank you for the compliment. I appreciate that. Any other questions for me? First I want to thank my sister and thank Rotary for allowing me to speak to you all today. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I hope that it's been beneficial and educational at the same time. More than happy to reach out again anytime you want to invite me back.
Lisa, thank you, Lisa.
Let me share a.
You're very welcome.
Let me share a positive comment about my mailman, if I may.
Yes.
I have a dog that's on an invisible fence, and every day he stops his truck. May get him fired. He gets out of his truck, he walks into the field and gives my little dog a dog treat. And it's just a really sweet thing that he does.
Oh, good. Yeah, we like to hear that. I mean, our mail carriers literally become part of your community.
Yeah.
They're in there every day. So they know your families, they know the children, the grandchildren, the pets, you know, and when they retire, it's kind of like a loss for the community for a short period of time. So I appreciate that. I'll share that with Hickory.
Hey,
Jeff.
Lisa, this is Bill Groom, and I wanted to mention that your informed delivery that comes every day is really, really a good thing, especially when people are worried about having somebody jeopardize their mailbox. It's good to see what's going to hit you in the afternoon. So that's a great program.
I appreciate that. I'm glad you brought that up. I actually forgot to touch on that. So I hope that everybody that's dialed in is signed up for informed delivery. If you're not, you can sign up for it at usps.com/informed delivery. And when you do that, you can sign up your address, and as your mail piece, letter mail, runs across our automation machine, it takes a grayscale picture, and it sends it to your email every morning around 7:30, so you know what's coming into your mailbox every day. From a national level, we are working to add flaps, and if you sign up for it, it will include your package deliveries also. You change your address, informed delivery will automatically update your informed delivery to move to your new address. But I'm signed up for it, but it's a wonderful thing because you know what's coming in your mailbox before you get home. And in some cases, one of the stories that one of our officers tells is, you know, that way he knows what his wife's going to see before he gets home. So he knows whether or not to have the kids go check the mailbox before his wife does.
Could you repeat that address, Lisa?
It's USPS.com/informed delivery.
Thank you. I've never heard of that.
And I can add a slide to the presentation with a live link for it. Jennifer, I just send you the presentation. Can you share it with?
I can send
everyone?
it to Dave.
Or send it to David?
Yeah.
I guess I'll send it to you and you can send it to David.
Yeah.
Okay.
What a great program. Thank you so much, Lisa. I've got a page full of notes.
Well, you're welcome. Again, thank you. I appreciate the invite. I hope that what I shared was, a lot of it was high level, but wanted to kind of give an overview of how the Postal Service works and then how we're handling the pandemic. And now, unfortunately, we're dealing with some lost post offices due to the riots and things. So appreciate the invite, though. I don't see any other questions, so if there's nothing else for me,
How many post offices were damaged or lost?
We had 2 post offices that were literally burnt to the ground in Minneapolis.
Wow.
Last weekend. The postal vehicles were set on fire and the post offices were set on fire and completely destroyed. So 100% loss on both of those offices.
So if you're missing any mail, blame it on that.
Yeah.
Must have been in
Well,
Minneapolis.
if you mailed anything to Minneapolis or you were expecting something from Minneapolis,
Double check.
let me know. But unfortunately, whatever was in the building for post office box customers was, unfortunately, it was lost.
Yeah, that is unfortunate.
Yeah. So, well, thank you again. Thank you, Jennifer. I know I'll be talking to you later, sis.
All right.
Thank you. Y'all have a great afternoon and safe, as well as your families. And any postal needs that you might have, feel free to, you can email me. Jennifer can tell you how to get in touch with me, and we'll certainly help mitigate the issue if there is one.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Lisa.
Bye. Have a good day.
You're welcome. You too.
Thank you.
Next week, folks, Jim Goodwin will have the invocation, and I have arranged for Thurman Wisnett, speaking of unrest and protests, Thurman Wisnett, who's the current chief of police for the city of Hickory, is going to join us and talk about community policing. I hope perhaps you read the front page article in Sunday's paper in the Hickory Daily Record. There is an absolutely remarkable quote from him, but I really look forward to that, and that, I guess, will be my swan song as your president. We will not meet on the 30th. We will meet July the 7th and turn the reins over to Lou Wetmore. So if there are no other questions, comments from you all, I hope you stay safe. Hand wash, social distancing, masks, and we'll conclude with the 4-way test. Of the things we think, say, or do. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendship? And will it be beneficial to all concerned? Stay safe.
You too.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Bill.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And Jennifer, thank you.
Thank you,
Bye,
Jennifer.
Julie.
Bye.
Bye.